This is Providence Television International, the game changer. Welcome again to this program. Prime Movers is a top-notch program from this station, Providence Television International. Oh, by the way, this is the second part of the program we had some time ago. And the first part, of course, naturally, you'll remember, Dr. Moses Osayi Odaro was our guest. He's still going to be our guest today. That's the wonderful gentleman over there. And he's a renowned banker and economist, former managing director of New Nigeria Bank, which was one of the top banks in the country at the time, and is also an author of a book, The Great Miracles of the Bible. We'll talk about that. So, Dr. Darosa, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Incidentally, again, we are both wearing white. I don't know. Maybe it's been predestined, as it were, but that's the way it is. Now, let's go into the details of the program. You wrote this book, The Great Miracles of the Bible. What led to it?
Before discussing this book,
yes.
Last interview, the way it ended, didn't give me the opportunity to talk about the other children in the family. So I would like to start by bridging that gap.
Okay.
We have finished.
Yeah. How many are there really? How many children?
Well, the total number of my children is 8.
Okay. How many boys?
Yeah, 4 boys and 4 girls.
Okay.
Every one of them, they are all sharing my love equally.
Good, good. So can we talk about the book now?
Yes, we can talk about the book. The Great Miracles of the Bible, miracles of my life. Your own is on the way.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And it's going to come.
Oh, really? Thank you very much.
Yeah. It took me a time of 5 years.
To put the book together?
5 good years. I didn't start studying them with a view to publishing it. But, you know, I was one of the, I don't know whether to say fortunate or unfortunate ones, that were detained by the dictator at that time, General Abacha. You know, Abacha descended on all of the banks at that time, and all the cells in Lagos, they were fully occupied by bankers, and not just ordinary bankers, but the top notch of every bank. I finished with New Nigeria Bank in 1984.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I spent 6 years preparing to get my own bank floated.
Yeah. What was the bank?
Great Merchant Bank.
Okay.
The reason is that I didn't leave the bank with any money. I didn't have any money apart from my salary. So, and the second disadvantage, I remained based in Benin City, where capital is not so nearby.
Okay.
Maybe if I was in Lagos, I would have been able to use my expertise to get money from here and there. So I tried to get my friends and relatives together, you know, to put this bank up, to put the bank together. The rule at that time was No bank, nobody could own more than 5% of the capital of the bank.
So what was your offense?
It was more or less jungle justice.
Okay.
As I said, the so-called offense under which we were charged, the decree eventually turned to act, had not even been promulgated at the time we were arrested. We were arrested and put in detention for more than 6-7 months before they hurriedly prepared a decree which they backdated to cover all of us that had been detained.
When you say all of you, what are the others?
Most of the banks at that time had the, as I said, the top notchers.
Okay.
They were all among the people that were detained.
How many of you from this part of the country?
Well, in my own bank, myself and one of my assistants were included.
Okay.
There are several others, but we were actually not meeting each other like that.
Okay.
So it's not easy for me now to remember all of them. There was no investigation really done, as I said, before they pounced on the bankers. We
Yes.
cannot actually point finger at one particular person as the accuser, because it's a person that knows you. As they say in Benin language, they said, no,
That's right.
the person that is sitting at the top of government, very far away, he doesn't know anybody.
Okay.
It's people that you think are your friends, who will seize the opportunity to
Undo you.
undo you
Okay.
as much as they can.
Some of them are still around?
Well, I think some of them are still around, but many have gone. It's not by my own prayers or by my own wish.
Yes, that's right. That's right. However, have you forgiven those who accused you?
Oh yes, I've forgotten. I've forgiven them, even though I will never forget.
Okay.
If I don't forgive them, I will not be fair to myself. I'll be carrying unnecessary load in my head. The God who has saved me through all these perils, through all these dangers, or through all these years. If I don't forgive these people, it will more or less mean that I don't appreciate what God has done for me.
That's right. That's right.
Personally, I always console myself that if I didn't go through this ordeal that lasted over 5 years, I may not have been alive up to now.
Oh yes.
I would have been long, long gone, because the temperature at that time was so high that one hardly ever had time to look after oneself, because struggling every day to make ends meet.
So how were you now freed from your incarceration?
I became freed when the man at the head at that time suddenly passed away.
Okay.
And a new leader came. The new leader now gave new directive to all the courts. I was detained for so long, I was tried under a decree that was not in existence, as I said, and the same body that was judging, they were more or less the ones prosecuting. So I got a sentence from them covering about 5 years.
Okay.
And out of that 5 years, counting by prison terms, they count more or less. I think it's 2/3, every 2/3.
Okay.
Of the year.
Yeah. So in other words, you didn't serve.
No, you don't have to serve all that.
Okay.
But even when I had finished serving that, I was not allowed to go. They still held on to me until this new general came.
I'm sure you're talking about General Abdul Salam.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes,
That's
that's
correct. They looked at my case, and I should have been asked to go long ago. So I was now asked to go.
In other words, you were discharged and acquitted.
Yes, I was discharged.
Okay.
And I eventually appealed to the president, Obasanjo, at that time.
Okay.
And the sentence that I was given, he granted me full presidential pardon. So that sentence is never to be talked about because it never existed.
It never existed.
Yes, that is the meaning of pardon.
I should think so. And I'm interested in the fact that you kept your head high long after this ordeal.
Yeah.
And today you can still walk down the street
Yes.
With dignity and honor.
Praise God.
Yes. Now, it was during your period of incarceration that you wrote the book.
Correct.
Good. So you had all the time in the world to do that?
Yes, as I said, there was no other work to do. So I preferred to read the Bible.
Okay.
And I had never read the Bible as thoroughly as I did this time. I used to take it as if it was a play, but this time I concentrated on it every single day.
Because we're going through adversity.
Yes. And I made it an assignment that every year I would study that Bible from beginning to the end. And this next year I would start from beginning again. So that is what I did. And eventually, as I was reading, I was taking notes.
Okay.
And the thing that struck me in the Bible more than the miracles, there's nothing. Those are the things that is the existence of these miracles that struck me more than any other thing. So I decided to study each of the miracles and note them. So I got my freedom the first day of this millennium.
Oh.
That is January 1,
2000.
The year 2000.
Is that a day you always love to remember?
Certainly. I'd like to thank my friend Emmanuel Kundaye, who was the controller of Central Bank in Enugu at that time. In fact, I hadn't even mentioned before where I was detained. Their policy at that time was that they will detain you where they think you will not find anybody you know. So that's why I was sent to Enugu.
Oh, and little did they know that
Well, they didn't.
They didn't realize that you have somebody there.
So while I was there, Emmanuel got posted there as a controller
Of Central Bank,
of
yes.
Central Bank. In fact, the people that were taking charge of us, they wouldn't want somebody like that to visit us. They did everything to embarrass them, telling them that you are coming to see this man who has stolen government money.
Oh.
And the person carried billions of naira.
Mm.
My bank at that time didn't have up to $1 billion naira. Because billion in those days, 1 million today would have been more than $1 billion of nowadays.
Oh yes, oh yes.
1 million at that
At
time.
that time, yes.
It would be more than $1 billion
Of today.
of today. So Emmanuel Kundaye stood by me
Are you still in touch with him?
all the time.
Good.
He's in Benin here.
Yes.
We are both retired now,
Mm.
and we are both in Benin.
Mm.
The day of my freedom, he provided 2 cars together with escort to bring me all the way from Enugu to Benin.
How did your family react to your freedom?
You cannot describe that.
Yes, yes.
You cannot describe that because it was like joy unlimited.
Mm.
Everybody showed his excitement
Good.
in various ways.
In various ways. Did you, by chance, lose some of your friends during your period of incarceration?
I've lost so many friends trying to put them in the contest. There was in the prison there. There was no need to ask about whether anybody died any particular day. The question rather was how many. How many? That is how the word "okay," that's how it came about. They said 0 killed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's how it came about. So if nobody was killed, you would say zero kills, sir. That is okay.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a new one. Yes.
So-
That's quite astonishing.
So in those days, countless number of people
Died.
were dying in the detention there. And do you know that in any of the prisons, more than 2/3 of the inmates were not convicted people. They were all awaiting trial. Awaiting trial. Some of them, they are accused of having stolen maybe 200 naira. And for that, they have been detained. Some of them, you cannot count how many years, because there is nobody to go and look for them.
Now let's just suppose your incarceration and what is happening now. Can you put it vividly as to the change, the reforms you will want in our justice system?
The reforms. Well, in our country right now, and for a long time, justice has almost always been delayed. And even though in many cases you may get justice at the end, but it has been delayed for so long. As they find when they do prison visits. When you get to the prison and you find that the offense that this person was detained for, the sentence for it, if convicted, is only 3 months. And this man has been there for 6 years. Then, of course, you say they should release the person.
Okay.
Okay. The justice system in the country is crying seriously for improvement, because ordinary, even civil matters that you file before any court, a matter that could have taken hours to dispose of takes years because of the system. The people that operate the system, they are happy enough to abuse it. Any loophole they can abuse to
Yes,
their
that's
advantage
true. That's
at
true.
any time. If the case is against them, the lawyer will look for ways
Yes.
of adjourning the case again and again and again.
So that elongates the
Yes.
period,
So I let
yeah.
the person that is complaining, let him get tired and maybe stop coming. So
Let me ask this question again in another way. Some of those your friends who left you, some of them have come back to you after your freedom?
Many of them I didn't meet. Many have passed.
Okay.
It's as if God was judging them.
Okay.
A person that I will not mention his name here.
Okay.
A person that I grew up with in my own father's house. He lived with his uncle, which was almost directly opposite my father's house. Things that I would not tell my own brothers or sisters, I would tell them, because he was nearer to me in age. So I fell into the mistake of trusting him to such an extent that there is nothing on earth he will ask me to do for him
That you will not do?
that I will not do.
Okay.
So remember I said earlier that the man at the top may not know you. It's somebody that will tie you and give him to cut your neck. It's this fellow that was behind all of my problems. And while we were detained in Alagbon, close in the Ikoyi, even though he wasn't living in Lagos, but he would come from Benin to ensure that those people give me as much punishment as possible.
Really? Is he still alive now?
It's one of those gone.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, this is an interesting story. Quite an interesting story. It's quite touching too. I shouldn't fail to ask this. In all of this detention experience, what major lesson have you learned?
You cast all your cares on God. Because apart from God, there is nobody that you can trust.
Can't trust. Yes.
There's nobody. Those that do the best for you, there's a limit, they will follow you. And after that, you're on your own.
Oh yeah.
You're on your own.
At over 80 years, what's your main preoccupation now?
Well, I'm still quite busy.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time in fellowshipping with others. I look after all of the properties that God blessed me with over the years. That is what gives me a living, because if I didn't earn any pension, because while we were in the bank, even though government had majority shares in our bank, the civil servants said we were not part of them. So they didn't include us in pension.
Yes.
We were more bound by the laws of the central bank than by the laws of the state. And that was one area we often had conflict. If a state official were to give us instruction that will put us into trouble with central bank, what do we do?
Oh, yes, that's right. In looking back, what do you think of the banking industry now, or banking sector, as they often say? Are there things that are being done wrongly?
Obviously, there have always been things done wrongly.
Yes.
But in those days, I was always telling my staff that banking is not an indoors game. It's a game that you must carry to the field.
Yes.
You have to go and get your customers, and you have to satisfy them before you can be sure of continuous existence. But if the bank has, for instance, give the government patronage, well, you are sure of where the deposits will come from.
Yes.
And the ordinary man on the street in the bank, does not know the value of deposits. So if you don't have deposit, the bank is finished. So if you have government support, most of the money comes from government.
Anyway.
Yes. In those days. So at that time, it was banking that we were practicing.
So what do they practice now?
Is what one may call cash and carry.
No professionalism any longer?
Many of them, there's minority of them that are professionals.
Okay.
The professional cadre of the bankers, they are the ones that have the Chartered Institute of Bankers full diploma. Okay. That is AIB.
AIB, yes.
Okay. But now, if you were to look seriously, I don't think you have up to maybe 10 to 20% of those that are practicing banking now.
Are you serious?
That have AIB.
AIB.
The banks take people now from all sorts of fields. All sorts of fields. And nothing is bad in that, because the bank is supposed to encourage the different fields, like engineering
and agriculture,
and so on and so forth. So you need to put different people that understand the language of the different industries.
Absolutely.
But what has been quite worrying is the fact that deposit now is priced more than professional competence. If you are a manager and you are not able to bring deposits, a messenger under you that brings deposit will be valued more than you.
Oh, really? Okay.
And people are being promoted based on how much deposit they can bring. And many people get promoted now beyond their level of competence.
Yes, that's right.
Because
that's right.
You may not concentrate on how to improve yourself in banking knowledge and practice. You concentrate on how to get deposit for the bank, even if the money is stolen.
Well, that's not a plus. I don't think that's a plus for the banking system. Anyway, let's look at this area before we round up. There's so much volatility in the system, and people like you must be thinking of how the naira can bounce back. For example, it's one of the weakest currencies now in Africa. Does it not bother people like you?
In the world.
In the world, okay.
For the naira to come back, because naira that was worth almost $2
Exactly.
before in those days.
Yes.
Okay, it's now worth less than a tenth of
Its value.
a dollar now.
Yes.
The very simple laws of demand and supply applies. You want anything that is in high demand, the price of that thing must go up, unless the supply is equally rises. If the supply rises more than you are demanding, rather than the price to go up, it will come down.
That's true.
But the reverse is the case. If the supply is not even going up and the demand is going higher and higher.
Yes. Yes.
Why am I saying that? Everything we use in our country, everything, we depend on import.
That's true.
We depend on import. There is not a thing that we do here or we consume here that is not import oriented. Is it the cars? 100% of the cars are all imported.
Yes. Or the drugs.
The drugs are almost 100%,
Almost 100%
imported.
Yes.
Everything, even things that you can.
Yes, that's
can
right.
avoid.
Even fabrics.
Everything,
Yes.
everything, because if the things are made in Nigeria, people look down on it. They say, it's not good, because that is why when they make things in Aba, they will write there that they are made in Japan. If they can convince you that it's made in Japan, they will buy it. So, where are you going to? Naira is of no value beyond the borders of this country. It's of no value. Even our neighbors that are using CFAs, years back, they were very happy to get naira.
Exactly.
But now naira is of no value to them. They don't even want to touch it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So naira is no more useful anywhere. To be able to get the dollar that is useful, you have to buy it at the price it is available. So it's most embarrassing, most annoying that the price of dollar has reached a level that it is, in fact, like a joke. I don't think it's a joke that tomorrow
it's
going to go back to normal.
Oh yes.
But
so chances are that it might still rise to about 2,000 naira per dollar.
that is, someone has forecast that by next year, which is just a month plus away,
Yes.
naira is going to be up to 2,000 for $1. For one sterling, it's already 2,300.
Oh dear. And yet, years back, these two currencies were at par.
They were at par.
Yes. Well, what a shame. But as we round up, Dr. Darrow, is there anything that touches you that you want to tell Nigerians on a program such as this? Something that you really feel bad about?
Nigerians, they are the ones that can save this country. They are the ones. The other day, South Africans were demonstrating that the white man should come back to rule. That since the black man started to rule. Nothing has improved. Everything has been going down, down, down. And the infrastructure the white man built, you go to South Africa now, you'll find that they are not being maintained.
That's true.
Okay. In this country, there has been demonstration about bad governance. Okay, it's the first time that people have been bold enough to come out to demonstrate. I have said that it is the Nigerians that can help themselves. There are different ways. One of them is to your long throat for foreign, anything foreign. Good. You have to cut it. Because there is no amount of foreign exchange allotment now, allocation that is given to whoever. It never suffices to buy what people want from abroad. Mm-hmm. Never suffices.
In other words, our lifestyles must change.
To change.
Yeah.
And have to look inwards. And that was how Japan overtook the entire world.
Yes, even Singapore.
Singapore. That was how China.
Oh yes, oh yes.
30, 40 years ago, China was regarded as bush.
Oh yes, oh yes.
It was regarded.
Absolutely.
But today, it has overtaken those that were calling it bush.
Exactly.
I went to Australia about 32, 33 years ago. And our hosts, they were telling us that anything that they find that is not so good, they throw it to their backyard. Where is their backyard? China. But today, maybe the reverse is the case. China has done so wonderful for itself. And that is because they knew what they wanted.
So the spirit of nationalism.
They knew what they wanted, yes. And they have been pursuing it without stop ever since.
Well, I think that's a good point of exit. Words of wisdom, great words of admonition for Nigerians, and expertise that's come on stage here, meaning that our guest today knows his onions very well as a seasoned banker and economist, very well known in this country. He went through certain travails, but I think that taught him a major lesson that in all situations you must depend on God to move you out of those very terrible situations. And through that process, he was able to write a book titled The Great Miracles of the Bible. That's the book out there, that's the cover, and it's a wonderful book, really. And on this occasion, I must recommend our guest, Dr. Moses Osarui Odaro, erstwhile Managing Director of New Nigeria Bank. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Yes, I will not forget the prayer that came out of you for me, so I'm looking forward to it, that my miracles are also coming.
They are also coming.
Thank you very
right
much,
on
sir.
the way.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir. That's our bid today for Prime Movers. My name is Emmanuel Ekariwa. All my love and prayers. Bye-bye.